parents, Miss Pickens here. I just wanted to give you a little update. I know that the science safety contracts came home and you went over those with your students as well as signed, and they signed that they were going to use safety rules and procedures in the science lab as well as when we conduct any science outside. So this week, students actually got to explore ways to be safe on the inside for science and safe on the outside for science. Inside, we will typically be conducting many experiments, and we will have rules for those, such as, wear what the teacher's asking you to wear. So that might be goggles or gloves. And that would include wafting, which means that you're not directly smelling something that I'm asking you to find a scent for, but you're wafting, which means waving your hand over whatever it is that you're trying to smell, and just bringing that scent closer to your face rather than putting your face closer to the scent. So that is wafting. Okay. Another thing is to wear proper shoes. So proper shoes could be anything that are closed-toed. Those ballerina flats will work just fine. As long as they are covering your toes and have a back on them, which I know that most of our students do since they're going to PE and running outside at recess. So, proper shoes are great. Okay, and then another thing is knowing safety tools. And we have gone over some of the safety tools in our journal, and we've actually documented some of them right here. And some are those goggles, gloves, covering your feet, the lab coat, and the beaker and the graduated cylinder are probably ones that we're going to be using a lot. And these have measurements on them, on both of them. The graduated cylinder is going to be a little bit more detailed in the measurement. So if we need an exact measurement, students need to know that they'll be using a graduated cylinder. Another thing that we need to make sure that we are doing, if we have long hair, pulling our hair back on those science days, because if we dip our hair into anything, we don't want it to get messed up, or contaminate our experiment that we're doing. Another tool that we learned about is the pipette. This is for squirting small amounts of liquid into another container, or sometimes we'll be seeing how, something like a penny, how many drops can we put on a penny. A funnel is for pouring liquids from a big container to a smaller container. So students will be learning how to do that. And then also probably the most important part of science safety inside is to listen and read all directions before you begin. And that is with any safety. Some science safety outside is to think about your environment. So where are places that we can study science? Of course, we're going to be going outside and collecting different things. So we're definitely going to want to have gloves when we conduct those experiments. So if we're digging anything or using any kind of tools, we might use something like garden gloves. We definitely want to have proper shoes. And we definitely want to listen and read all the directions. And all of these are kind of the same when we go inside and outside. But there are a few things that are different, things that we have to think about when we think about our outside environment. So sometimes it's going to be really hot outside. Sometimes you'll be conducting an experiment at the beach. Not that we will get to go to the beach this year, but in the future, if your student becomes a scientist one day, we'll have to think about the environments outside. So maybe it's a very sunny day outside. We might want to wear sunblock if we're studying some marine life at the beach. We might want a hat. We might need a mask if there are pollutants in the air. We also might need to think about different types of clothing. So inside, you'll probably be wearing a lab coat. But if you are outside and you are working with different chemicals, you might not want to wear a bunch of loose clothing. So we're just trying to get our students to think about how they can be safe inside and outside in different environments when conducting science experiments. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much.